I just got the nicest email from some people, and it said, I'm grateful for you, wishing you a great, wonderful Thanksgiving holiday filled with gratitude and stuffing. What did you get? What did you get, Doug? Anything? Any nice notes like that?
There are lots of nice notes like that going around right now, Bart. Come on.
Yeah. Yeah. And then also, people started sending me some of the holiday gifts early, which I'm very appreciative of. And I got 8 new tumbler, that you can put your coffee in.
Yeah, unfortunately, I think that's all of us seem to go. And what is that? The horde mentality, where we all, you see a gift and then we all start giving the same gift or whatever. But I think that's been going on since you and I were on property. I would always remember that.
All right. What is the most unique client gift you have ever given? Like a physical gift?
I can't even, what doesn't pop in my mind is what I've done. I think what I've received. I remember being on a call with someone and talking about the holidays and how important it is to my family and decorating the house, and got a beautiful wreath to put on our front door. So, to me, that was a great example. It's stuff you and I've talked about in the past. Like, someone actually listened to me and said, well, I think I could come up with a unique gift or a special gift of thanks to Doug based on what I just heard. And, I think that's kind of unique. I can't think of anything, sadly, which is probably
not a big sign, is it?
Talk about the conversation here. Like, I got to step up my game. But
I keep on dropping the hints that I'm a 2XL. So for any T-shirts or polo shirts that are coming my way, 2XL, I'm a big dude. So just
you're not going to be specific on like what you want it to say on the T-shirt or anything like that, like or anything like that.
In fact, you have awarded me a gift before on greatness. So thank you, Doug Barman. You picked up on that hint. I thought today it would be.
Although it's funny, that's the reality. You're looking for those little things. I mean, unfortunately, we have profile forms, on our clients, on ourselves. But sadly, I probably don't even take the level of detail to fill those out that I need to, right? I mean, what do I really like when I'm in a guest room? Well, what I really like is water and fruit when I wake up in the morning to have it, But the questionnaire will ask me what's my favorite non-alcoholic drink, alcohol, So then I end up with that. So I've had, you got to kind of say, no, what I really want is just water in my room. But again, it's to your question, it's you and I listening to what our clients and partners are talking about and then saying, could I come up with something unique there?
Yeah, and it gets back to the last call that we did, over 211,000 views. And we talked about what can sellers do differently. And this was from a planner's perspective, from a buyer's perspective. And that's what I'm hoping to be able to discuss today. How can we recognize our clients differently when we are sellers? So you're going to ask me that question about what is the most memorable gift I ever gave, right?
Bart, what's the most memorable gift you ever gave?
Well, let me tell you. When I worked for Grand Hyatt, Washington, I was going on a trip to Japan. And so we were looking for gifts that were unique and different. And it looked almost like the size of like a big, thick lipstick container. But what happened was when you twisted it, out popped a razor. So you twisted it. Otherwise, it looked like a tube. And you twisted it, and then the razor came out, and then you twisted it back, and it went back down. Just different. And this was a long time ago. It was probably 30 years ago, but it was unique and different. We were giving out at a trade show, and the clients at the time were very interested in uniqueness. So that made a big statement. I'm thinking about the most favorite gift that I ever received. Probably like a monogrammed briefcase. There was a leather company that we had been doing some work with. And we bought X number to be able to give away. And as a sample, very nicely, he provided one for me. And I still have it, and I still use it. So things like that are helpful. Now, I know the title of this is not another YETI. There's a little bit of feedback. I don't know. Can you lower the volume just a little, Doug, when I'm speaking, maybe?
Yeah, I'm not hearing feedback from you.
Testing 1, 2. Is that any better? Yeah, there's less. Yeah, you wanted to hear me too badly. So the title was Not Another YETI, and no disregard or disrespect to YETI, but thinking about how we can recognize our clients. What is going to be unique, different, and memorable? What will be different? So I'm going to go back to one other question before the conversation. You were talking about the complete a form. How valuable is it? Are you recommending that people do send forms to say, tell me your preferences, write them down, tell me what your shoe size is, tell me what your shirt size is, write them all down, and then throughout the year, maybe we'll surprise you. Do you think that that's a good way of doing it? Or is there a better way of collecting that information without saying, fill out this form?
Well, I think it's probably a combination of both, Bart. I think you need to get the form and get some basics, but I would say, I think you're looking throughout the year to personalize it. And so, I think unfortunately for all of us, we get to this time of the year and it's like, oh my gosh, it's holidays. Let's have a call. Let's talk about what gifts we can do or how we're going to do a thank you note or whatever. And really it needs to be part of our DNA for the whole year. I'll give you an example. One of the members of my team just traveling on site visits, noticed, that this individual, one of our clients, has this really nice leather-bound personal calendar, that uses, and you got the calendar on the left-hand side and all the notes on the right, and something that they really liked. And it's not an inexpensive thing to buy every year. So, get out in front and get that gift to them for 2025 so they don't have to spend it. So it's personalizing it, but it's paying attention through the year. So back to your question, I would think I get you to fill out the form, but then I'm also listening to you and I'm adding things to that form. Oh, Bart told me about his wife and kids. Bart told me about this. Then you're adding some things and keeping it a little more relevant is how you can personalize it. And I would say one other thing, Bart, you just referenced, I think, and it's a challenge for all of us. Like when we give gifts away, I think somehow we want our logo all over it. And like what you said is that monogram. Probably some of the best gifts I have is, a portfolio that's got my initials. I mean, somewhere on there is probably the brand that gave it to me, but if they could make it a little bit smaller and, when you get that t-shirt or the pullover and it's just got, Doug Barman all over the front, are you really going to wear that? But if it's got a little monogram of your initials and Doug's buried somewhere, maybe you'll use it. So I think those are some thoughts too, because I don't know that it's, when I get a gift, I'm not so excited about the logo. I know who I got it from and I will remember who I got it from.
Yes.
It doesn't need to be a glaring logo in my face all the time.
Yeah, I think that's a really good idea.
So
you'll remember the gift. It doesn't need to say who it's from, doesn't need to have the logo on it, as long as it's thoughtful, unique, and memorable. Thoughtful, unique, and memorable. Now, I need to give a shout out, Doug, to one of our sponsors, not necessarily for this call, but for our newsletter, is the Merch Madness Group, and it's merchmadnessgroup.com. What they do is they specialize and they customize a lot of different things. So talk to Deborah Price. She can certainly help you. And the point of having this call is not to disassociate gifting, but it's to think a little bit differently about what to give, when to give, and then in general, how are we showing appreciation? There was I think I probably put it might have been even a story at one point, but it was bake a cake, buy balloons. Bake a cake, buy balloons, give flowers, and it doesn't need to be for someone's birthday. It doesn't need to be for a holiday. Why can't it just because it's Tuesday? There's all of these initiatives that you and I have seen. Client Appreciation Month, Client Appreciation Week. We're going to do this. We're going to do this. We're going to do this. Well, what happens during the other 51 weeks? What are your thoughts on that? What can we as sellers do to make sure that we're showing constant appreciation? What do you guys do?
Well, again, I think you can set yourself apart by what you just said. It's the when you do it. I mean, everybody's doing something right now. So I don't mean that in a bad way, but you're just one of many when you send that Thanksgiving message or holiday message. I mean, I've got a lot of members of my team that are looking for other opportunities throughout the year and probably do less during the holidays. So I think it's the what, it's the how you say it and do it, and the when are all three important things that you've mentioned. And I think being unique is probably doing different things throughout the year versus one big thing. I think from our team's perspective, Bart, it's gotten a lot harder. I mean, it used to be a little easier to celebrate an entire team or office because you could send something to them and the office could celebrate. It's in the break room and it's from Bart. It isn't the school. A lot of that doesn't exist anymore. All our clients are scattered at home, and so it has less impact. I don't know. It's a challenging time to figure that out, but I think the when is important. I think you got to, and I think that's again personalizing it. What's the important time of the year? Maybe it's when they always go on vacation with the family to the Outer Banks, and you're going to do something special when they rent that home, and that'll have a greater impact than something over the holidays.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I agree. And I'm thinking about, there's a friend of mine, I think you know him, Ron Wallach. Ron, I believe he's still with Marriott, but he sends a holiday card. I just got it today or yesterday. He sends it super early, and it's, he uses printed labels, and he sometimes writes a note, sometimes he doesn't write a note, but I look forward to getting it from Ron because I know at least he's thinking about me. What makes it unique is that it is early. Not a week before if you celebrate Christmas. It's not a day before. It is before Thanksgiving. He's mailing out a holiday card. That makes it unique. So timing, it's a card, but the timing aspect, why not be super early? Why not wish someone, instead of a belated birthday, why not wish them a happy month early birthday? We're just making up stuff.
Yeah.
Right? Why not? Why not?
But again, it's a common theme to what we talked about before, Bart. It's all about listening and personalizing, and I think that makes all of us feel good, right? You're going to feel better about me giving something to you that means something, even if it's not a lot of money. I think we got to forget about the cost of it. Sometimes it's just a nice touch. Like look at yours. I've seen you doing some of your podcasts, and you're giving your guests afterwards a gratitude stone. I mean,
yeah.
That goes a long way. It's unique. It's something different. It's something someone's going to remember you about. I don't know what those cost, but it's not like sending 5 bottles of wine to them that they forget about who sent the wine. It was something more personal, and you made it more personal.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And it can be those little touches,
Correct. Yeah, in our industry, I would think, how can we think of things? We all travel a lot. What could make our travel life easier? Nothing against these mugs and all that, but I can't get them in my suitcase and get them home. So, unfortunately, if I'm going to get those as a gift, hopefully they'll ship them home for me or whatever. We're moving fast. We're trying to do carry on. What makes my life easier going through the airport or sitting in the airport? Or, I'm looking for ideas that help people make their lives a little less stressful.
Okay.
But they're not easy. I mean,
have you found anything? Have you purchased anything that has made your travel life a little easier within the last year or so?
I have not. I am a lifelong observer, though. I'm watching everyone in the airport. What are they doing? How are they doing it better? I mean, but you look at all the little gadgets in the gift store, and I'm watching people as they sit in their seat and how they get organized, whether it's the neck pillow or whatever. What are those things that will just make it easier?
Yeah. All right, you ask me the same question.
What have you done, Bart?
I'll tell you what I really like. There's something that I purchased recently, and it is, I don't know what the name of it is, but imagine when you're flying, it is a tray table cover. So you just slide it over top of the tray table, and then if it's in the upright position, the bottom part has a bunch of pockets. So I'm putting a book in there, I'm putting my phone in there, I'm putting a charger, and then whenever I flip the table down, it's covered with this, and I don't think I have it handy. I think it's in the wash, but it is this black Velcro-ish, that's not the right word, flexible material.
Hmm.
I don't have to worry about wiping, clean and sanitizing the tray table because it's my fresh new cover that's over top of it. And then I'm not putting my phone where people are putting their old banana peels from years ago in. It's something that I'm washing every single time that I'm traveling. And it's a little cloth thing that you put on. I think that that's a brilliant idea.
Yeah. Did you
Sometimes
see that somewhere or someone gave that to you?
say that again.
Did you see that somewhere or someone gave it to you or?
No, I think I was just doing research on travel things, travel gadgets or travel. No, I saw it, and every time I use it, and I think it costs $12. Every time I use it, people are like, "Well, that's really cool. That's interesting." And why not? Why not spend $12 to make your life more convenient? And when you're at the airport, you'd be like, "Oh my gosh, I wish I bought that. I wish I had this." One other thing, and I don't know if you have seen this also, but if you're, let's say you have your roller bag suitcase and you have the handle, there's something that attaches onto the handle that is essentially a cup holder. So if you have a briefcase, you have your roller bag, well, the cup holder attaches onto the handle, and I'm not explaining this very well, but then you can put your coffee in those things. And I'm finding if Terry and I are traveling on work, I'm usually trying to balance a cup of coffee and a personal bag and my roll-on suitcase. So that's probably 10 or $12. Have not purchased it yet, but every time I'm at the airport, I'm like, oh my gosh, I really should have gotten that. So just
Okay,
idea.
this was my earlier point, Bart. So, you're my client. We're having a discussion about something else, right? We're going to get into the speaking you're going to do or the training you're going to do for one of my clients or whatever. But we start the conversation on weather and travel or whatever, and you share some of this stuff. If we're doing the right thing, we're listening and gathering that and saying, wow, Bart he's doing a lot of it, and it's important to him to make it more convenient. He mentioned a couple things. So maybe I can find one of those items you're talking about, or something that I think would be like, hey, this guy's going through security a lot and flying to 2 or 3 different destinations in a week. He could really use something like this. Then I think it becomes a more personal gift than the typical thing that, when you walk through a trade show, not picking on anyone there, but 4 out of the 10 booths have the same gift sitting out on their table because I don't know. That was the hottest gift when you Googled hot gifts or whatever. I don't know.
And that's
but
everyone
travel's important to you. Maybe my cup of coffee at home is more important to me, right? So then you're going to think about, well, what can make Doug's cup of coffee at home more important or more
Such
special?
a great idea. And technology has made it so easy. I know I have your email address, I have your home address probably already in Amazon for whatever reason, just like you probably have mine. We can get that of our clients and we can just hit a couple of buttons, put it on the company credit card and send them a gift as long as they're able to accept a gift as an example. But you could do that so very, very easily. Yeah. Is someone traveling all the time? What would be helpful? I mean, let's even keep on talking. If someone reads books all the time, but they've been talking about trying to get a Kindle or a Fire tablet, whatever those are, maybe you order that for them as a very nice gift. If they already have one, you get them a gift card so they can buy more downloadable books. You're not going to necessarily buy someone headphones because maybe they already have them. Oh, one of the other most thoughtful gifts I've ever seen, and this is a shout out to one of my former teams. We did an event in New York City, and it was at a townhome, and it was 3 stories on each, 4 stories. And each different level had different food offerings. So if you had to go all the way up to the top, it was dessert, and they had karaoke, and the middle level was entrees, and then the bottom level was whatever it was in different bars. Well, my team at the time was so thoughtful. They said a lot of people are coming to this event dressed up. It was a luxury event. So they arranged to have very special slippers. I can't remember what the brand was, but there was, let's say they're UGG slippers, right? So Doug, size 11 UGG slippers. You can take off your business shoes if you want. Ladies or individuals that are wearing heels, you can take off your heels, and it's going to be a slipper party. And it's something that you get to go home with. Very, very creative. Wasn't branded, wasn't logo, but you're going to think that company thought about what I could need, and they provided something to me.
Well, those are big too, Bart. You're bringing up a whole nother, the experiential kind of gift and thank you. You know, you go to an event and you get to decorate your own whatever you're taking home, your sneakers, your your new plate for the food or whatever. I think those are kind of neat too. And again, the logo's not all over it, but I can tell you every brand that brought me to do that, right? You remember who did that for you.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
I would say, switching gears the second part, I think too, we're talking about gifts and spending. I think, we got to not forget just the good old basic. I think you kind of touched on it with the holiday card you received, but I think just a handwritten note goes a long way. And sometimes it's not even all that it said, but the fact that they took the time to sit down and write a specific, thank you for this, or thank you for this moment we had, or this, finalizing this contract together, or, taking the time to come and site our hotel. Those go a long way. Just those simple, and how much, I've heard you talk about it on different podcasts. How much does that really cost you? A piece of paper, an envelope, and a stamp. But I think those things stand out, especially, I tell my team all the time, how many emails do you get a day, and how many real pieces of mail do you get a day? Your individual note will stand out dramatically because you probably get 5 valuable pieces of mail in a week, and you're getting hundreds of emails every day. So if you want to stand out, do a handwritten note.
Yes, love it, love it. Yeah, the open rate for a handwritten note to your home address is well over 99%. The average open rate for, I think, email communication is like 22%, something very, very, very low.
Wow.
And in fact, I just got something yesterday also in the mail. And have you ever gotten these that look like they are handwritten because it's computer generated to look like the font and the silly spelling? And it came from like a car dealership card that I bought, 20 years ago. And on the outside, I was, oh, look, handwritten, but they fooled me. And I opened it and they fooled me. Imagine if it would have been truly handwritten and there would be smudge marks and someone actually took the time to do this, it would be even more powerful.
But even some of this contradicts what we were saying earlier, where, you don't send all this during the same holiday season when everyone else is. I think if you're going to take that extra 5 minutes to personalize it, you know what I mean? If you're sending out a holiday card, just a little note that, hey, Bart, I saw you speak at the XY event. It still has made a big impact on me, and here's why. Or, I really enjoyed working with you on this particular client at your hotel, or, something. Just that one line to me goes, oh my gosh, they remember something we did together this year or whatever. So, even if you're going to do the typical, just add that little bit of personalization and it'll go a long ways.
Agreed. All right. So what's the summary? What's the takeaways here, Doug?
For me, Bart, it seems to be a common theme of a lot of things we're talking about. Like, don't overthink this. It's about listening. It's about observing. It's recording those things for when I'm going to use them. Maybe I'm not going to run out and get Bart, that travel thing today, but next February we're traveling together and I pull out and go, hey, Bart, you mentioned this, here you go. So I think it's listening and it's looking for the opportunity to personalize something and kind of exceed the expectations of that person that you're doing this for.
Great.
That would be my summary. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, no, I think it doesn't need to cost that much money, as long as it is personalized and thoughtful. Unexpected is even better. And make sure that you do it. That's the whole point. Do what most people are not doing. Next time you're going to a trade show, think about, would you really want a highlighter? Would you really want a tape measure? What are the things that you think would be interesting, unique, and different? Maybe you survey your clients. Maybe we survey clients. Maybe talk to Merck Madness, right? Deborah Price, and find out what is hot and what is unique from her lens. So a couple of things. Yeah, just do it. Just do it. Personalized, customized, unique, memorable, different, thoughtful, and unexpected. I think all those things are probably 5 good words in there somehow.
Well, I think the one word we probably didn't talk about during our time together as we wrap up is, is sincerity. It needs to be real. I mean, and I guess that's a given that I didn't even mention, but people can see when it's not real, that you just did the mass email, that it's not even my name in it, or I think you referenced some other stuff, or even when you do the fake thing, like it looks like it's personalized to Bart, but it's not. That's not what we're looking for. You're looking for sincerity, and you do that by tying it in. Like I said, like, hey Bart, I really appreciated that session I went to of yours, or I really appreciate what you did for my client and speaking to them and the training you provided. Tie it into something that I'm sincere about, that I really am thankful and appreciative of, and I think that goes a long ways too.
And that's the element of being specific. And I think you and I had talked about it before, when we are complimenting our spouses or our children or relatives. Don't just say, hey, I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you because you handled that situation very, very well with grace and poise, even though that client was not happy. Yeah. Whatever the case is, or to be specific. And I think just one last thought, Doug, doing what most people are not doing. Yes, handwritten notes, very important. The thoughtfulness, the customization, the personalization, great. What about just even picking up the phone these days? And let's not wait for a client appreciation day or week or month to be able to pick up the phone and just say thank you. Not that you need anything. Yeah. And it's okay probably to leave a voicemail. And as I'm saying this, it's giving me ideas. I need to call people and make the effort to dial, use the phone, say thank you. And if they don't pick up, that's okay. I'm going to leave a voicemail. But boy, how many voicemails do you get a day, Doug?
But again, I think that's a great idea, Bart. I would just challenge again, make sure you make it personal. When you're calling me to thank me and thank me for that time we did something together or whatever, right? Like sometimes when we just get that, hey, thanks for being a really good partner.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but I love the idea of picking up the phone. That's, probably right behind mail. We're not using the phone anymore. We're relying on email and text, and we got to get back to that person. Our business is a relationship business. We should be on the phone, or it should be face to face.
Doug, remind me, 301 something.
You're gonna put my number in there, and then you're gonna put all of your sizes in there.
Doug, 2XL again, just so you remember. Doug, I appreciate the partnership. I appreciate your friendship. You're always sharing ideas. You're always helping me to get better. We're trying to grow things together and help people. Thank you, Doug. All right, good. All right, anything else? That was good. Right. So happy Thanksgiving.
I hope you have a happy Thanksgiving, you and Terry and the family. And it is a great time of the year, no question. And I'm not saying don't say thank you to folks.
Yes.
And don't be appreciative. Just make it personalized and make yourself stand out.
And that's the point. Any appreciation, any gratitude is welcome at any time. But if you're looking to stand out, there are certain things that you can do differently and do better. And I think that's what we're encouraging people to do. So keep on sending notes, keep on posting things about gratitude. Look, we need more of it. But if you can customize, personalize, and be even more thoughtful, it's probably going to have a greater impact. All right, Doug Barman, thank you as always. Doug, if people want to follow you, can you share the details for Team Barman, please?
Well, I do have a Team Barman website. So it's teambarman.com. You can go to, or go connect with me on LinkedIn. It's probably the easiest. And you can follow me there, and I will connect with you. I love connecting with folks and seeing how we can help each other.
Yeah, and that's true. And that's a true statement from Doug. His last name, Baarman. Want to make sure that I threw that in there. What about me?
Like, what about you, Bob? How can they find you?
What? How can they find me? You tell me.
Well, I think there's this most people don't website probably,
Yeah.
and there's probably an email address affiliated with Bart Berkey at most people don't, right?
Yeah, that's it. That's it. Most people don't.com. All right, wonderful. Thank you, Doug, and happy holidays, happy Thanksgiving to all those that are on the call and celebrating. Let us know how we can continue the conversation and how else we can provide value. That's why we're doing this. Awesome, Doug. Thank you again.
All right. Take care, Bart.
Okay, bye.